Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to change your build from one set of martial arts to a completely different one for free and with minimal effort. Even though at this point in the game you should have already decided on what build to main, you might still find yourself wanting to change your martial arts, especially since next month we will be getting a ton of new martial arts, weapons and paths with the arrival of Season 1. The good thing is that the game is very user friendly when it comes to changing your martial arts, inner ways and gear sets. For the purpose of this video, I will be changing my almost maxed out Bamboo Cut Wind path to the Bell Strike Umbra path, for which I will make a build guide video soon. First, let's see how we can change our martial arts, which are the defining element of your build. If we go to the martial arts screen, we can see that we have a reset button, and pressing it will show us all the materials that we will get back when performing the reset. Selecting this plus icon will inform us that we will receive 100% of the breakthrough materials back and 80% of the upgrade materials back. The breakthrough materials are the martial arts breakthrough tips and the specific material for the martial art, while the upgrade materials are the coins and the other materials used for upgrading. You get one free reset for each martial art during each season, and right now we are in the pre-season, which will end around mid-February when Season 1 starts. After using the free reset, you will then have to pay 100 Echo Jade for the next reset, and this cost will keep increasing with each subsequent reset. Overall, it's very cheap to reset your martial arts, so don't worry about committing to a certain build path. As you can see, I already have my Bell Strike Umbra martial arts upgraded to the maximum level, so I don't need to reset them in order to switch my builds. Moving on to the inner ways, which are the hardest pieces of your build to improve, because farming for inner ways nodes takes a lot of time. Right now you can see that all of my inner ways for the Bamboo Cut Wind path are at tiers 3 and 4. We have a reset button here as well, which does the same thing as for martial arts, meaning it returns 100% of the materials consumed. In this case you will get all the inner way nodes you consumed back. You get one free reset per season, then you will have to pay 100 Echo Jade for the second one, and this cost will keep increasing for subsequent resets. However, this is actually not what you want to do when you want to just change your build. You should only use the reset feature for inner ways when you want to recycle the inner way nodes of a certain inner way that you don't plan on using regularly, and use them to purchase inner way nodes for the main build you are using. You can do this on the tips exchange screen, and this is a good way to upgrade your main inner ways by recycling unused ones. However, the main method you want to use when you want to switch your build from one path to another is the conversion feature. This feature will swap the inner way nodes of one inner way to another of the same quality, meaning you can only switch legendary with legendary and epic with epic. For example, in my case, I want to switch from Bamboo Cut Wind to Bell Strike Umbra. I will select my Echoes of Oblivion legendary inner way, which is tier 4, and then on the right side I will select my Sword Horizon inner way, which is at tier 2. You can see that the conversion will switch all the nodes you used for upgrading and the ones you have in your inventory with the ones from the other inner way. I have a total of 125 inner way nodes for Echoes of Oblivion and 44 for Sword Horizon, and after the conversion I will end up with 125 inner way nodes for Sword Horizon and 44 for Echoes of Oblivion. This will essentially allow me to upgrade Sword Horizon to tier 4, which was the tier of my Echoes of Oblivion, and then my Echoes of Oblivion can be upgraded to tier 2, or I can recycle the inner way nodes if I want to. However, I would never recycle any legendary inner way nodes, because those are very rare and difficult to obtain, and who knows if I ever change my mind in the future. You will also notice that you get 8 free conversions per season and 24 conversions in total per season, and you can only use conversion on the same inner way once every 3 days. I can do this for all 3 of my path specific inner ways in order to switch to the Bell Strike Umbra path, because the 4th inner way is a neutral one that I plan on using with the Umbra build as well. Since each build path has 4 dedicated inner ways, this means that you can essentially switch your build 2 times for free and 6 times in total each season, and you can only go back to a previous build once every 3 days. Since there are basically 6 build paths in total, this means the game allows you to switch to every single one of them once per season, so that you can experience each build path at its maximum potential. For this reason, you should always focus on a single build path, upgrading that to the maximum, because that will allow you to switch to any build and it will also be upgraded to the maximum. You can also reset the upgrades of your mystic skills, even though these are not build specific, and you get 100% of the materials back. Now, the last aspect we need to talk about is the gear. This is where the difficult part of switching builds comes up. The game allows you to change the set of any item to any other set, and you can do this for free 8 times per season. However, builds are defined by specific attributes on items and by specific weapon classes, so this feature doesn't help you almost at all when switching builds, at least not yet. You probably already know that if there are two minor paths belonging to the same greater path, they will use the same attributes for scaling and mostly the same weapon classes. For example, the Bellstrike Umbra and Bellstrike Splendor use the same weapons and their martial arts are scaling with the same attributes and they require the same tuning attributes. This allows you to easily switch gear sets from Umbra to Splendor and the items will be viable on the other path without having to tune new items immediately. This is not applicable for attunement attributes, however, so eventually you will have to actually switch your gear as well. You cannot, for example, switch from Bamboo Cut Wind to Bellstrike Umbra using the switch set feature because the two paths use completely different weapon classes and attributes which are incompatible. This feature is mostly useful in case you happen to have a legendary gear piece with a good initial attribute that works for all paths and you can then switch it to another gear set you need to. Unfortunately, this means that when switching builds, in most cases, you will have to farm a full new set of items and then tune and attune them. This is very costly and the resources required can mostly be obtained by spending energy, which is a limited currency. Because of this, you won't be able to immediately obtain a fully maxed out new build, you will have to do some farming for a couple of days. I already farmed a full gear set for the Bellstrike Umbra path because I was planning on trying out this build for a few weeks now, so now I can say that I am fully stacked and ready to main the Umbra path and see how it performs compared to my Bamboo Cut build. In case I won't like it, I can always just switch back for free or for a very small cost. It is best to choose the right time to switch your build unless you want a massive drop in efficiency. The ideal moment to do it is before you consume your Hero's Realm and Guild Hero's Realm attempts for the week, or immediately before or after the weekly reset. This is because the Hero's Realm has the best gear drops out of all the game modes and it costs no energy to claim them. You should also try to save up as much energy as you can before switching your builds so that you can immediately consume it all to farm new gear and get a good start. Doing it right before or after the weekly reset is also good because you can purchase a ton of gear chests from the season shop, which again will give you a good head start. After switching builds, don't forget to also switch your arsenal to the new path because you get specific attribute attack for your path. You should be prepared to switch your build when the new season comes next month because you might see a new build path or martial art that you will like. Stay tuned later this week because I will be posting a full build guide for the Bellstrike Umbra path. That would be it for this video, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.